Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield. Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. This is Hawk Talk with Jensen. Presented by Oak Knoll Retirement Community. Oak Knoll, a not-for-profit life plan community serving the Iowa City community for 59 years. Also brought to you by Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. Bud Light, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. Also brought to you by University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist, made right here in Iowa since 1895. And by your local Ford dealers. Here's Rob Brooks.
And welcome to our second Hawk Talk with head coach Jensen, now 9-0 and 11th in the country. The Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball team got off to an outstanding start in Big Ten Conference play. Road victory at Rutgers on Saturday night in New Jersey. And certainly we talk about setting the tone early. That's exactly what Iowa did, racing out to a big lead and winning 79-36. Leading 22-6 after one quarter. We'll certainly take a look back at the Big Ten opener and two big games in the non-conference this week. And it all starts with Iowa State in the Iowa Corn Cyhawk series on Wednesday night. Longwood back at Carver Hawkeye Arena on Saturday. And we have talked, Jan, about starts, and pretty much been happy with the way things are going, and certainly after 10 minutes on Saturday night, you have to be happy as well. 22-6, not much could have gone any better.
No, absolutely. And I think, I watched Rutgers on film, and I did think that this was one of Coquise Washington's better teams. and I still think it is, but I think we really jumped on them early. And, man, they got on their heels, and nothing was going right for them. So I was just so pleased with our start in that game, and the fact that really for 3 quarters we really pretty much kept the foot on the gas. The fourth quarter, it was bound to be a little bit of a let up. I was not wanting that a little bit, but my staff, they calmed me down a little bit. They said, hey, listen, they just got over 10 points in this quarter, right? So I was overall really, really pleased.
And that sometimes can happen. You get 30 really good minutes.
Yep.
You have the win secured, and maybe let up a little bit. But as a coach, you don't want to see too much of that.
But I think everybody that played really had the opportunity to play. I thought played some really great minutes, and I don't think it was particularly. It wasn't some of the kids that came off the bench. It wasn't particularly just our starting unit. I just think over time, it's just hard to always keep that consistency when you're winning by that margin. And I mean, Lord, I'd love to keep trying it and see what it's like, and then I'll have a little more data. But certainly winning by that margin is not as typical, but it was sure fun to do it.
Yeah, especially on the road in conference, difficult to do. And the nice thing was, too, especially with Ava, the way that she was running the floor early. Got some easy hoops, which is always nice. You don't have to knock down tough shots to get that lead.
Yeah, and that's what I love about the beauty of our post. All of them can run the floor pretty well. And Ava, runs it beautifully. Hannah runs it beautifully. Layla Hayes does a great job. She's not exactly the same body type as a Hannah, but they can get down the floor. And I thought we had some beautiful run-out passes, and we got good positioning early, and that can get you a little confidence when you're able to get like a easy knockdown, layup that you should make, right? But when it presents itself so easily, boy, it can get you rolling.
So won the first quarter 22-6, came back in the second 22-8, and then you always want that good start in the third quarter as well. Won that quarter 23-4, and that's really when the three-point shooting kind of took over. You knocked down 2 out of 2 as a team in the third, and 2 out of 2 in the fourth quarter, amongst the other things that were happening in the paint.
Yeah, and I think, if we can get that 3 ball a little bit more consistent to start the game and continue throughout the game, I think that's really going to increase our chances to be pretty successful the long haul. That's been a little elusive collectively. We've seen moments. We've seen the Evansville game. We've seen halves, this particular half. But we do a lot of other things pretty well that if I don't have to put so much pressure on if that 3 ball goes in or not to have a shot to win the game, I'll take that. But if we can get it consistent, it's going to really increase our chances that the probabilities that we will win a game. But I think our defense keeps us in most every game. Our efficiency at typically the 2-point shot has been there. So we're working on it, let me tell you. But, a lot of times, the way people, play defense, right? The way they play you and who they're going to allow to shoot. A lot of times the game plan is, to get certain kids the shots. And the other team knows it and you know it, So you typically want certain kids taking shots, but a really good opposing team is going to make make the people who don't shoot as well, they're going to make them win the game for you. So I think that we're making strides, but, the proof is going to be in the pudding. But I was happy at least to see that second half. It started to free up. And, that started with McCabe. And,
of course, it sure did. And you've got defensive goals, rebounding goals, as Rutgers was coming into the contest averaging 62 points. Well, you held them way under that to 36. And then the rebounding. You were concerned about their length and their ability to O-board. And they did end up with 16, but you had 15, and then that was a goal as well. And then to have over 40 rebounds and ended up with 49.
Yeah. I have been really pleased with our rebounding this season. Rebounding is just the key. Rebounding are possessions. Rebounds are possessions. And the more possessions you have, if you got more than the other team, that's going to help your chances. And if you can get a lot more than the other team, and if your three isn't maybe falling as much, or you're just having a tough shooting night, man, the more rebounds that you have, it takes pressure off of all the other elements of the game of basketball. So I've been really pleased with how we've been rebounding. And, we have some good kids with the nose for the ball. And, a lot of times rebounding is just a lot of muscle, a lot of want to, a lot of, grit. And I think this team is really showing a lot of that. And then on top of it, we have some pretty quick off-the-floor kids. Hannah's a quick off-the-floor kid. Ava's a tremendous quick off the floor kid. Journey Houston, I mean, man, is she coming before our very eyes, right? She gets in the game, and she's probably wasn't on a lot of stat sheets, and she's on it, probably circled like box her out, right? She just has a way to be around that knack for the ball. So if you got some kids that are hunting it, that really, really will help your rebounding stats. And I'm just really, really pleased. And our little Taylor McCabe, she's led us in rebound, not this game, but she has a couple of games in the past. And I just think that's really fun when you got a little one that's gritty and just boxing out and able to get her hands on the ball.
Had 10 players with at least 2 rebounds, and Hannah had 8. And then you mentioned Journey Houston, a career high 8, career high 14 points,
and
on 6 of 9 from the floor. And just 24 minutes.
24 minutes she has that. I mean, I'm telling you what, that kid, if we can continue just to keep refining her. The interesting thing, I think I alluded to this in the show the last time, is, freshmen are just so used to a lot more gaudy stats because they've, and parents are too, for that matter. Their kids, been all that in high school, or the fans are used to that. But when you come into a team where there's a lot of people that are capable of doing some really great things, the harder you are to guard is when everybody is doing exactly what they need to do in the minutes that they're on the floor. And when we can get enough of them thinking about, like, man, if I get in 4 minutes and I get 3 rebounds, man, I'm doing my job. And you can just see it coming alive with Journey. They're starting to really understand how they can impact the game, and it doesn't necessarily have to be with, tremendous all the points, doesn't have to be all the rebounds. It's that efficiency of when you're on the floor. And I think that's the biggest challenge for any team forming. I would venture to say that every coach in the country would tell you, is just to keep their confidence up when the minutes aren't as much or the stats aren't as high, is just to get them to understand that what they're doing is so impactful. And I think Journey Houston is a wonderful example of that.
And she had to show you something in the fall, because she was in the rotation, going even back to the exhibition game and right at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I mean, if I got a soft spot, it's for motors. And that's why we recruited Journey. And, she's a little undersized for the 4. I'd like to, in time, get her to be in that 3 spot. And she does have a really nice 3, but where the needs are of this team right now with her skill set is she can be an undersized 4. And because you can do it when you have a mentality and you have a little grit to you and you got a nose for the ball. And so when we got her kind of embracing the fact that you don't have to lead us in post moves and do everything that Ava does, you just got to defend their bigs, and you got to counter with your speed and agility and your heart and your muscle down there. Man, you're going to be just fine countering someone that's 6'2", 6'3". And the minute she got a little bit of success with that, she's really, really taken off. And if we can just keep her confident and growing, I think that's the neat thing and the challenging thing with freshmen. And there are all of them are like that. They have a couple good play minutes, and then, boy, the minute they might make a freshman decision, you can just see their disappointment. They don't want to let you down. They don't want to let the team down, and they're frustrated at themselves. But if we can keep that trajectory going for our freshmen, man, I'm really loving what these guys can do.
Well, they had to do that on your birthday, right?
They did. I'm thankful for that. Let me tell you. Amen.
26 assists, 10 turnovers.
I thought you were going to say 26 years old. Is that not what you were going to say? Roll off of your mouth. 26. That's my favorite stat.
That's awfully young.
Was it 26 on 32 buckets, or how many?
It was.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is awesome. That's how we like to play, and that's the fun part. And one of my favorite plays, when we were running a play for Ava, or we got to look, I can't remember if I ran a play for her or not, but Ava could sense the help, and she kicked it right over to Kelly Levine in the corner, and Kelly Levine just, man, nothing but net. But it's just a beautiful, beautiful basketball to watch. It's fun to celebrate that extra pass, that the assist, I think, is just so pretty, and it's so fun to play that way. And I think that was, well, not I think, that was the thing I was most excited about.
Right in front of your bench.
I know. It was great. I loved it.
And then the execution, end of quarter situations.
Yep. It was really,
good.
really nice. Yeah. We've, that's always, you practice it. There's one thing to practice it when no one's in gyms and the lights aren't on, and then to see it come to, fruition. I think we're definitely getting better at it, and I'm still trying to figure out what I like, when we like it. And a lot of times you'll have different people in the lineup. And so when we have different people, there might be a play I really like to run, but I don't have the particular person in there. So we're all continuing to refine that, but I do like our growth in that area in particular.
And if you wonder out there how important those are, all you had to do is watch Maryland and Minnesota yesterday.
Buckets, yeah. I tell you what, that Maryland-Minnesota game, it's why it ain't over till it's over, right?
Boy, was it?
Well, it's funny.
That was true.
I was, also watching. I'm a Minnesota Viking fan. I like to throw that out there. I was Fran Tarkenton when I was a kid, did all the things. Somehow, my little Jack, who's now 18, grew up to be a Packer fan. He has been since age of 4. That's the story. I talked to him about loyalty when he was 4. I said, you can't just be this Packer fan now. You got to stick with it. And he has. But one thing that's kind of happened as a mom, you kind of see the joy in them when they're having successful seasons. And my Vikes are struggling a little. So I'm on his team right now. So when I thought that Maryland-Minnesota game was at hand, then I'd switch over. And then we have a text loop with our staff. And so then Ben Lober, he texted me. He's our video guy, and he texted the group, and he said, how is it that Minnesota is doing everything they can to win the game and seemingly losing it at the same time? And so then I'd go back to the game. And then I'd go back to the Packers, and then I had to tune in at the end. And it was that Garzon who played at Indiana.
Right.
She's so deadly from the 3. And then I don't know if you watched the game, but it was kind of fun that Coach Buder, I thought, did a heck of a job calling the game. And she kind of slid in there. Everybody's using it, but it was when Garzon hit it, she's like, that's that Caitlin Clark range. I said, good job, Luder. Keep that Caitlin Clark range out there.
But what was it, 11?
I think it was 9 and 8 seconds. I think it was something like that. Crazy.
And then I did the same thing, too. I said, okay, well, this is over. And I flipped over, and then I flipped back, and they're double overtime coming down the stretch.
I know. Yeah, it's just, isn't it funny what emotions and pressure can do? It's and the emotion can be for you. You can handle the pressure. We've used that so often in our teams a couple of years ago. Pressure is a privilege, and if you can harness that and really utilize it. But pressure and emotions, boy, when they go amok, there's a lot of different things that can happen, and that's what makes, I think, sports so very interesting, because it's on full display. But if we really analyze our own life, sometimes in the pressure cookers, those emotions, they can also taint kind of how we will react and what we will do. So it's tough. I think a lot of people are like, how could Minnesota do that? Well, you know what? Those kids played so hard, and both teams deserve to win it. But at the end of it, someone has to be that gut sick or whatever. But it was a heck of a game, and obviously Brenda, she knows a thing or two about how to pull things out. And certainly no panic on Maryland's side. They played the 40 and beyond, and that's exactly what you have to do, and then find out what happens. And they did that without Schmeichel. When you win a game like that without, she's just a great player. And to do that first game in a situation like that, I thought that was really, really impressive. Well, if Saturday and Sunday, any indication what this league's going to look
Look out.
Absolutely. Hang
Michigan
on for the
State,
ride, baby.
Loses big time in Wisconsin.
They did. Now, their best guard, Theron Halleck, was out. That doesn't take anything away. Robin Pinchton used to be the head coach at Missouri, an assistant at Iowa State years ago, way back in the day, played for Lisa Bluter. She's a really good coach, and she got a lot of good portal pieces. And I've always liked her little Ronnie Porter, the Wisconsin point guard. So, sometimes when you get that turned a little bit and a team that hasn't had some winning, they've won a few games in the non-con, but probably caught Michigan State at the right time, and just never had any let up in that game either. I didn't watch all of them in their entirety. I was watching some of the second half, and it's crazy. I was trying to take a break. We had basketball, we had practice.
It was hard to do
my
yesterday
birthday, and then I came home and it was like
4 or 5 games.
Then I remember
yesterday.
Lisa was calling the game, and I was like, well, I've never heard her really. So then I got into it, and then before you know it, 3 hours had passed. But that's when basketball's in your blood, right?
And UCLA was on, so
I know.
was just one after
they were
another.
On. Yeah, that USC.
That's what happens
Washington
when you play Saturday, right?
How do we feel about those Washington USC uniforms? Now, my son, he was loving it. That purple was a lot.
It was on TV anyway.
But I really
like
respect both those coaches. But the uniforms are always the thing. I was waiting for people to, that was a lot of purple.
That was a lot of purple. But that's what makes a game like Saturday so invaluable and so difficult, where you have to really embrace it, because it's hard to do in conference play, knowing that a Maryland-Minnesota situation certainly is going to happen several times.
Absolutely. That's the thing, like on paper, right? You want to try to get the ones on paper early. One of our media local guys, Jeff Linder, who does a fabulous job covering high school sports, and he somehow covers the college scene so well. But he asked me in our presser last week, he said, is it a good thing or a bad thing you're playing Rutgers? And no disrespect to them, but he was trying to figure out, did I want to play UCLA, or do you want to play someone that has not been at the top, right? And I said, well, I think it's so early that no one really knows, right? You don't really, I don't know exactly who we are exactly yet. I like what we've seen. And you can say, oh, we played Baylor and we played Miami, and but they probably aren't who they are either, right? So you're learning, you're stacking the lessons. But going into Rutgers, I just thought, that one, it's the psyche of not just your team, but everybody, the opinions of people who follow. That's what you always have to manage as a coach. And I thought we did as a staff really good at staying in the moment at this particular game. It was just, this was the Big Ten season. This is what we needed to do. This 40 minutes is all that mattered. And we don't know who they really are, and this is the game plan. They don't really know how good we are, and let's show them. And so I thought our team, being more young than we're old, really, I thought they handled that really, really well, as evidence what we just talked about with the start.
And you have to feel like they've handled things away from Carver Hawkeye Arena well.
Yeah, they really have. We've only had one true road game, which was at Northern Iowa. Right. And I thought that was solid performance. The other road games have been at a neutral site. So you're not going to probably face too many true road tests than Wednesday night. So we're going to learn a whole lot how we manage a great team, a really hostile environment, and a lot of the hype that goes with it. So both teams, Iowa State and us, the positive, no matter what it is, we're going to learn kind of what that mentality and that psyche is handling the game, and what you do after it. Whether you win or lose it, you turn the page, and you got a whole lot of season left.
But that's what it's all about.
Oh,
right?
It is. Absolutely.
These games are so important to the state, and that's what makes this fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
For us, anyway.
Yeah, that's right. They're fun for us too. We just have to have a few more Tums than you guys do when you're watching.
Well, we're with you, though. We're with you. Certainly appreciate Oakdale and their support with Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen, and it is the presenting sponsor all season long. Oakdale's mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care, a not-for-profit life plan community serving the Iowa City area for 59 years. Oakdale is conveniently located near the University of Iowa Healthcare Campus, Kinnick Stadium, of course, Carver Hawkeye, and downtown Iowa City. A proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Visit oaknall.com to learn more. And, of course, it will continue on Wednesday night, the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series. Iowa Corn promotes honest, hardworking values that are uniquely Iowan. And certainly thank you to Iowa's corn farmers who lead the nation in corn and ethanol production, feeding and fueling us all. Go to iowacorn.org to learn how corn grows Iowa. And we'll talk a little bit more about Iowa corn with Jason Orr, the Iowa Corn Promotion Board Director for District 3. When we come back, this is Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen, presented by Oaknall, live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar from Learfield.
Our mission at Oaknall is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 58 years. Oaknall is located near the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oaknall.com to learn more. We are a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Despite the unshakable Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk rivalry, there is one thing Iowa State and University of Iowa fans can both agree on: getting hyped for Unleaded 88. It's cleaner burning and better for your engine, and it's cheaper than other fuel options, making Unleaded 88 the clear fuel choice. If Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk rivals can agree on it, you know it's worth the hype. So pump it up with Unleaded 88, grown by Iowa corn farmers.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Ben McCullum. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
Flu season is here. Get your flu shot today at your local Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment is necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. That's right, a 20-cent fuel saver. Get your flu shot when it's convenient for you. Schedule online or just stop by your Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Help your family stay healthy. Get your flu shot and get a 20-cent fuel saver only at Hy-Vee. See store for details. Some restrictions apply.
RE/MAX is the official real estate partner of Iowa Athletics, and we understand there's a number for everything: square footage, down payment, interest rates. But how do you measure the trust you have in your agent? For a RE/MAX agent, it's not about numbers on a contract. It's being a trusted RE/MAX agent. That means you'll get honest advice, expert guidance, and someone who's committed to your success. Because while numbers count, trust is what truly matters. RE/MAX, the official real estate partner of Iowa Athletics. Each office independently owned and operated.
Welcome back to the Watermill Kitchen and Bar as we are live in the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. It's Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen, our second show of the year. And certainly if you want to jump into the conversation, several ways to do so. You can Twitter at Iowa_Learfield or hashtag Hawk Talk. Also Facebook.com/HSP Learfield. And also you can email questions to Hawk Talk at HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. And, of course, a big week of basketball for Iowa and Iowa State, and it will all start Wednesday with the Hawkeyes coming in at number 11 in the AP poll, Iowa State at 10-0 at number 10 in the AP poll and 11 in the coaches poll, so almost a top 10 matchup as the two teams have combined for 19 victories to start the season. As promised, Jason Orr is with us. He is the Iowa Corn Promotion Board Director for District 3, fifth-generation farmer from Buchanan County, raising corn, grass hay, and 50 head of stock cows, and he farms along with his father and son, so that's got to be a good time. And on the farm for the past 5 years, they have used cover crops on every acre and strip till. And Jason, let's start off. Welcome, first of all. And,
thank you.
What's new at Iowa Corn here in 2025 and heading into 2026?
We're working on right now getting some different things on the legislative side through. We're always looking for new ways to use corn. Obviously, Iowa leads the state or leads the nation in corn production, and right now we have an overabundance of it, so we are working hard to find new uses every day for corn and corn's byproducts.
Yeah, what's kind of the outlook right now for agriculture in 2026?
Pretty bleak.
Yeah.
Inputs are extremely high. Corn, the price of corn right now is roughly, it's kind of in the same as 70s and early 80s prices, and but quite frankly, our inputs, whether it be land, fuel, seed, fertilizer, our inputs are just too high.
So Iowa Corn, this has been a great sponsorship and partnership throughout the years. What's the value for both Iowa and Iowa State for the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series from your standpoint?
From my standpoint, it's a great way for us farmers to advertise and educate about what we produce. We're 1% of the nation is our farmers. 97% in the state of Iowa are family farms, which is great. But the one thing is we can educate about corn and about what it does, and it's great for the state since we don't have any professional sports. It's a good thing for us all to come together and really root for something that really hits home.
What about some of the products that people might not know that corn's so important to, and some of the unique products out there as well?
One product that we're actually pretty proud of at Iowa Corn right now is down in Eddyville at the Cargill plant. We just built they just built a new plant that's actually taking corn oil and it's going into spandex. And most people have probably heard of the company Lululemon.
Yep.
They are a very big promoter of using corn products to produce their spandex and produce their clothing. So they have a natural source instead of using an oil product.
Yeah, and good stuff as well.
Absolutely.
I own plenty of it myself.
Absolutely.
Well, Jason, appreciate you stopping by and filling us in on what's new, and appreciate your support of this series.
You bet. We enjoy it.
Thank you. Jason Orr, the Iowa Corn Promotion Board Director for District 3. And also U.S. Cellular is a proud sponsor of the Hawks. U.S. Cellular wants you to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling a little bit later on. U.S. Cellular is built for us. Several ways to connect us. Remind you, Hawk Talk at HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com, Facebook.com/HSP Learfield, at Iowa_Learfield, or hashtag Hawk Talk. We'll get to some questions with Coach Jensen when we come back with more Hawk Talk presented by Oaknall. We are live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar from Learfield.
Dives for lunch.
The Juicy Lucy. Essentially, it's a burger, but with cheese on the inside.
James Beard Award winners for dinner.
French technique, but Midwestern ingredients.
It's a little unbecoming to lick the bowl, but...
Plan your next trip at exploreminnesota.com.
Unwind in style at Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, where luxury and excitement come together. Tee off on a world-class golf course, savor gourmet dining, and enjoy premier entertainment and amenities that are second to none. Feeling lucky? Hit the slots or try your hand at our table games. There's always action on the floor. Whether you're here to relax, play, or indulge, Riverside offers more than just a getaway. It's an unforgettable experience. Visit Riverside Casino and Resort.com to learn more.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
You asked for all the extreme internet performance at an all-in price, and we listened. Get 1 gig internet with a 2-year price lock and everything included. Unlimited data for non-stop streaming, powerful Wi-Fi for enhanced coverage, built-in online threat protection, and internet equipment. All for just $65 a month for 2 years. It's the extreme 1 gig internet deal you asked for. Call 844-4FASTER or visit extreme.com for details. Offer available to new customers only. Price doesn't include one-time charges, tax, and government fees.
At Mid-American Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Flu season is here. Get your flu shot today at your local Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment is necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. That's right, a 20-cent fuel saver. Get your flu shot when it's convenient for you. Schedule online or just stop by your Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Help your family stay healthy. Get your flu shot and get a 20-cent fuel saver only at Hy-Vee. See store for details. Some restrictions apply.
In Minnesota, we don't hide from winter. We embrace it. When there's a nip in the air, we take on the trails. For every layer you wear, there's a new experience waiting for you.
It's a little unbecoming to lick the bowl, but...
Plan your next trip at exploreminnesota.com.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Coach Jensen as the Hawkeyes coming off that big victory against Rutgers at 79-36 and jump back into non-conference play, of course, at number 10 Iowa State on Wednesday. That is a 6 o'clock tip. Then it'll be wonderful to be back inside Carver Hawkeye Arena on the 13th next Saturday. That's a 2 o'clock tip with Lindenwood out of Virginia. And then UConn in Brooklyn on the 20th before it's all about Big Ten play after that on the 28th with Penn State at Carver Hawkeye Arena. So tons of basketball coming up. And don't forget, we'll be back here next Monday as well for another Hawk Talk. We'll have 2 more before the end of the year. And, of course, you can always tune in on the Hawkeye Radio Network, the YouTube channel, the Iowa Hawkeyes YouTube channel, and then also this year new MediaCom across the state of Iowa on Channel 22 and 822 live with the Jan Jensen Show. Well, Jan, let's head off to some questions here. Audrey checking in, wishes you a happy birthday, of course, and just wanted to know how Jada's doing. That's one of her favorite players, and wants and hopes that Jada's doing well, and it was nice to see her on the trip.
Yep, absolutely. Jada's doing really well. She's still making a positive impact on the team, and she just needed to get a little stuff cleaned up, but she's doing great, and I know she'll appreciate that support. Thanks for checking.
And she's always so positive and smiling all the time. Just great to be around. Got to be a wonderful teammate.
It is. It is. It's nice, and she's using her senior leadership, I think, real positively this year. There's so many different roles that a young person can play in a team. And I think Jada this year is really able to understand the different roles that, she's never been a key impact player on the floor, but she's still able to impact, when you use your position positively, you can really uplift everyone. And so I've been really, really happy that Jada has really especially embraced that this year.
Got some questions from email. Liz, and we've talked a little bit about Hilton and what that experience is going to be like on Wednesday. The veterans certainly know, but sophomores, freshmen, transfers that maybe haven't felt what it's like over there, how do you kind of prepare them for what they're about to enter on Wednesday?
You talk about it, you can talk about how loud it's going to be and do all the things to prepare in that way. But you just like anything in life, until you really experience it, you don't really know. And nobody's probably played, those kids. I mean, man, the freshmen, their big game, maybe they had a couple hundred at a game, right? 300. So even when they're playing, even with the fans at Carver, it just is so sometimes overwhelming. So you talk about it, and you just, I work a lot on, just their perspective and how blessed we are to get to be in these type of opportunity, in these type of situations, and just try to, set up the situation. You watch a lot of tape and you can see it, but you really have to get in there and experience. But it's hopefully the prep work you've done on your preparation, because typically when you go into it, whether you can go into an environment when we're used to a lot of fans at Carver, and then you go somewhere and it's really dead and then you don't have any fans, that can be almost the other way. Then you're just kind of, there's no energy. So you just have to, talk it up, and just, it is what it is. And I don't make it a major. I don't make it under. It's just like, we got to do what we got to do. And this is another element, and we're going to grow from it. And it's up to you how you respond. We're going to get a few calls. We're going to lose a few calls. We're going to hear a lot of things that you probably don't deserve to hear or want to hear, but it's up to you and how you let that affect you. So you either do it or you don't, and look at it positively, that we're a team that's going to go play and a team that's very supported, and we're really supported. So that's how I try to. But, I've also coached a few years now. The rails can come off and go every which way, but you just got to keep pushing those buttons to make sure you get them back on the track.
And a lot of times those starts are pretty important. And then once maybe you get 5-6 minutes into the game, then you're just playing basketball.
Both ways.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime in a game like that, the people who host it, they, have that advantage, the comfort, the rims, the people, the support, but you still got to go up and down, and you got to execute. So that's what, we're going to have to do, and it's going to be a really, really challenge. But I think we've prepared them, as well as you can until you get there, and then you just got to hope your preparation is going to be strong enough to weather it.
And it's nice to have some players that certainly know what it's like and have played in the big games their entire careers.
Absolutely. And I think that's really nice when you have some senior leadership that you can lean on.
Doug wants to know about, you got a deep team. You can go a lot of different directions, mix and match things. What about full court press, trapping defenses, disruption philosophy on that?
Yeah. It's interesting. Everybody can see a deep team just by the numbers, but you have to kind of really get into the inner workings with the team and how much information they can handle at a time. And some teams can pick it up really quickly, and you can move on to the next concept. I felt earlier this fall it took us a while to move on to the next concept. It wasn't for lack of effort. It was not for them not understanding. It was stacking the knowledge. If we worked on cross screens, and then the next day we worked on a back screen, and then the next day we worked on a staggered screen, and then I went back to cross screens the fourth day, we had a little trouble remembering how is that supposed to handle the cross screen. So at that point, I had to kind of just shrink it a little bit and start to realize, okay, what do we really want to be good at? What do we need to be good at right now? And then what would we like to do later? And so we have I have still that wish list and hope list. So that wasn't part of our younger unit and our depth right now. We have a few things, but they're not going to be our calling card, in the next week or so, right? But we have things in. We're just not ready to utilize them at this point. And hopefully, as we get down the road, then we'll keep everything in our minds, and we'll be pretty good about adding to it. But I think our staff has done a pretty good job knowing what we need to be right now and sharpening that enough.
Would that be more based on opponents or how well you can execute?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're a pressing team is your philosophy. Let's look at Vivian Stringer, those of you who've been here. She was a full-court pressing team at Iowa. She was a full-court pressing team, 55 defense when she went to Rutgers, and that was who she was. And so then you can't really be a Vivian Stringer pressing team just because you're playing Iowa State. just because you're playing, Rutgers, is kind of who your makeup is. And just like in life, like if, there's so many, I would love to be that, a full court pressing team of Vivian's back in the day, or I'd love to be UConn for running their Princeton offense and all that, but you can love all these things and then you can dabble in them and then you become a master of none. So you have to kind of look at who's my personnel, what can we really be good at, how much information can this unit really stack. And so you'll do some defense, definitely. Everybody has a different game plan. But in my opinion, you never put in a full court press just because you're playing this team. It's a lot harder than it looks just all of a sudden, well, let's just full court press them. Let's just trap the inbounder. Let's just run a 1-2-2 and just, if you do a press breaker and you have the people to do it, you can get burned pretty quickly too if you don't really know exactly the zone shifts and movements of that. So I would like to get to that at some point, but right now I think we're just continuing. We're not even there yet, mastering the nuances that when you play, you play a certain team and you want to play more zone. You play a certain team, you definitely don't want to play zone. You want to trap this or you don't. That's enough right now. And I think as we grow, and that's when you have more veteran teams, right? Like Iowa State's team right now, they played together a few years. These juniors are pretty doggone good. So I'm sure, Coach Finley, he's got it definitely what he's really good at, but he's probably got a couple things in his pocket that he hasn't done before because they already know frontwards and backwards what they've been doing for 2 years now. But now he's got a few things that when he needs it, you throw it out there and no one's probably seen it. So it just kind of depends on how old your team is and how good they are of absorbing knowledge.
And they can make those adjustments on the fly as well during certain scenarios of the game. Easy.
Absolutely. Yeah, the more veteran you are, you can. And different kids are different. There's some kids that can, Caitlin Clark, she would do about 16 things in her mind and she'd see it before everybody did. That's why she's who she is, right? Other kids, it's like you're safer just to really keep that. When they're in the game, you're going to run X, Y, and Z, and they're going to win the doggone game for you. But if you all of a sudden introduce Q, hold on, because that's not what their skill set is, right? So I think that's the $1 million question with coaches is, when do you introduce something new and when do you write up a certain play or do you use something that you've been practicing since June?
Got to execute, right? That's
A to the men on that. Yes, yes.
University of Iowa Energy Collaborative is proud to be the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye women's basketball all season, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. You can learn more at uiowaenergycollaborative.com. And our thanks, as always, to the Watermill Kitchen and Bar for hosting us all season long for Hawk Talk. You're looking for a intimate space for your upcoming holiday party? Watermill Kitchen and Bar's private dining room is certainly an ideal spot to gather your small group this holiday season. With space up to 18 guests, full menu of unique options for everyone to enjoy. Great way to celebrate this month. To reserve space, call 319-381-7336. We'll be back with more questions on Hawk Talk as Iowa and Iowa State from Ames on Wednesday. We'll certainly dive in a little bit more Cyclone talk as well with Coach Jensen. This is Hawk Talk presented by Oaknall. We are live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar from Learfield.
Our mission at Oaknall is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 58 years. Oaknall is located near the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oaknall.com to learn more. We are a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Ben McCullum. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
You asked for all the extreme internet performance at an all-in price, and we listened. Get 1 gig internet with a 2-year price lock and everything included. Unlimited data for non-stop streaming, powerful Wi-Fi for enhanced coverage, built-in online threat protection, and internet equipment. All for just $65 a month for 2 years. It's the extreme 1 gig internet deal you asked for. Call 844-4FASTER or visit extreme.com for details. Offer available to new customers only. Price doesn't include one-time charges, tax, and government fees.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Welcome back to our final segment of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen as Iowa at 9-0, ranked 11th in the country, gets set to take on 10th-ranked Iowa State. And 9 of the last 11 in this series has been decided by 10 or less, but Iowa certainly had their fair share of winning. They won 3 in a row, 8 of the last 9, lead the all-time series 32-23. Share a taste of Iowa tradition this holiday with the Eat Shop's famous cinnamon rolls and handmade pies. They're worth every bite. You can pre-order now at theeatshop.com. I dove into a little bit of that chocolate pie.
How was it?
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I know. They mean business. They're a great place.
Nice and fresh.
It was good.
It was very, very good. Well, let's dive into Iowa State, as this is the Civco game plan, as precision matters most when your loved one is undergoing an invasive procedure. For over 40 years, Civco has been a trusted provider for image-guided procedures, counted on to deliver outstanding service and superior quality around the world. Civco Medical Solutions, making image-guided procedures safer. And we've got a couple of questions on Iowa State. We'll go to Bettendorf. Molly talks about Iowa State's strong defense so far this season. Offensively, what are you going to emphasize, without giving too much away, obviously, for your team heading into this game? Because everybody talks about the points that Iowa State's put on the board, but they've been able to stop some people as well.
You know, they have. I think they've tweaked their defensive philosophy a little bit. They've put in a little bit more pressure. And offensively, they have a juggernaut of a scoring unit. I was going to ask Bill if he'd mind if we played 6, just to put someone on the front and the back of Audie Crooks.
So
but
old
I don't
school,
think,
right?
Yeah, old school. But yeah, I mean they're just a really good basketball team. And the thing I think that's unique about Iowa State is Audie Crooks is their face, but even when she comes off the floor, they're still really good. I mean, they've got a couple kids shooting 50% from the 3. 3 actually. That Addie Brown is just one heck of a power forward. She's shooting 46% from the 3, 47, excuse me. So we got their off guard shooting 56% from the 3. Their small forward is shooting 50% from the 3, and their power forward is shooting 47% from the 3. And they bring a kid in off the bench that she's also shooting 36% from the 3, which is still really good. So they're really, really well skilled. You can do a lot of things. You can try to double Crooks. You can try to, surprise her with a different look. And she's just so good and really finding where that open person is. So, I don't think anybody's had really exactly successful in what they've done so far. They're just a really nice basketball team, and no surprise, Bill is long timer, had a lot of wins under his belt, and he's got a lot of pieces. I think that portal piece they added, this Jada Williams from Arizona, was probably really what they needed. A really nice catalyst to what they already had.
Is this one of their better teams in the last several years?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, there's so many. I think the recent history, you always think, oh, that's one of the better teams. That's one of their better teams. But we can go back. I mean, when we were at Drake, Stacy Fries-Huber, she lives right down the road here in Cedar Rapids. She was an Iowa Hawkeye, then she transferred over to Iowa State. That was a heck of a team. We were back at Drake. Some old 6-on-6ers. Janelle Grimm played at Montezuma. Heck of a team. I think in recent history, for sure, Audie is just a special post player. Great kid, great family. I think they're pretty much hitting on all cylinders right now. But you can really focus on one person and try to let Audie have everything and try to take away the outside. They know how to do that. You can really try to take Audie away. I don't think anybody's ever done that, but they're going to kill you from the outside. So you're just going to have to play a really, really good game. You're going to have to hope that the adjustments you're trying to make it a little more difficult for them work, and then someone's got to outshoot somebody. And typically, what Bill does is he is really good with defense, and he makes your least efficient people beat you. And so the people that haven't been hitting so much on our team, we're going to have them hit. And I think that they're ready to do that.
And that's what sometimes these games come down to. Yeah. It's an unsung hero that really steps up and plays big.
Yep, it is. Because the heroes are doing what they need to do.
We know the stars, right?
They already done something, but it's usually that one play here. And that's with a close game. I think the first thing anybody has to win is when you go into that environment, you got to withstand it. Right, you got to withstand it, and you got to put yourself in a position to be competitive. Then that's when the fun happens, right? But that's what we want to do when we're hosting. Is you want to sock them in the mouth, and you want to not let them even think that they're welcome here, right? So there's a lot of different elements that go into big games on the road, and certainly rivalry games.
How about their depth?
They bring a couple kids off the bench. I really like. They got a nice little freshman. Her name is Reese Beatty, and I think she's from Tennessee, but just a little gutty. Does a really nice job for them. She has a nice Sydney Harris. She played for them last year. She's a senior. She's got a nice 3. Their backup 3 is not at all center is not at all like Crooks, but she's really nice. I like her. Her name is Williams, and she just is really athletic. She doesn't overdo it. She's hard to guard in and of herself, right? So you think, we're going to have a break when Crooks is out. Not so much.
No breaks so Wednesday night, right?
Right. No, not at all.
Well, Jen, thanks so much, and we'll see you over in Ames.
Sounds great. Thanks for everybody coming out. Appreciate it. God bless. Go Hawks.
And we'll see you again next Monday night for Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen. It's Hawk Talk with Iowa head men's coach Ben McCullum coming up from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar in Coralville.
Dives for lunch.
The Juicy Lucy. Essentially, it's a burger, but with cheese on the inside.
James Beard Award winners for dinner.
French technique, but Midwestern ingredients.
It's a little unbecoming to lick the bowl, but...
Plan your next trip at exploreminnesota.com.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
The year-end clearance sale is going on now at your local Honda dealer. Honda cars, SUVs, and trucks are on clearance during Happy Honda Days. Save thousands on the new Honda today with 0.99% financing. 2025 Accords, Pilots, and Ridgelines are on clearance. Plus, see big savings on the full Honda line, like financing as low as 0.99% APR on the new 2025 Ridgeline. Don't miss Happy Honda Days. Search your local Honda dealer today. See dealer for financing details. Financing on credit approval offer ends 1/5/26.
Time now for the Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield Health Coverage Report. Let's take a look at the numbers. When you enroll in a Wellmark individual or family health plan, you choose from thousands of in-network providers. And you're teaming up with Iowa's #1 health insurance company. We know healthcare in Iowa. Score great coverage from Wellmark. Find the plan that's best for you at wellmark.com/covered. Enrollment ends January 15th.
Hawkeye fans, gear up for game day with Big Grove. As an official craft brewery of the Iowa Hawkeyes, they bring you the ultimate game-watching experience. Sip on fan favorites like Easy Eddie, Citrus Surfer, and Neighborhood Beer while cheering on the Hawks. Can't make it to the stadium? No worries. Join them at any of their 4 Iowa locations in Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, and Solon. Big Grove Brewery, your official watch party headquarters of the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks!
In Minnesota, we don't hide from winter. We embrace it. When there's a nip in the air, we take on the trails. For every layer you wear, there's a new experience waiting for you.
It's a little unbecoming to lick the bowl, but...
Plan your next trip at exploreminnesota.com.
Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville, this has been Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen, presented by Oak Knoll Retirement Community. Oak Knoll, a not-for-profit life plan community serving the Iowa City community for 59 years. Also brought to you by Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. Bud Light, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Made right here in Iowa since 1895. And by your local Ford dealers. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.